What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekly forecast for the week of February 1st through the 7th of 2021. Brian here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I do hope to see you become a member if you're not already on the website, fixedairmoon.com. Join and get daily horoscopes and weekly sun and rising horoscopes over there, as well as the weekly tarot. And this show will be there, of course. Also, more to come in the future. I do hope to see you there. If not, I'll see you when I see you around here, and I love you very much for being here. Well, it's a big week in the astrology for sure, with Saturn in Aquarius here. It's going to meet with Venus. So we got Venus ingressing on Monday, the 1st, into Aquarius. So we're definitely meeting with Charlico to start the week. And I think that we're seeing, like, we want to push forward, and I think we want to innovate and find relationships that are very stimulating. We want to find connections with people that are stimulating. They're going to meet up. Saturn's going to meet with Venus as well this week, which is really trying to find the structure and authority within our relationships that make the most sense, that are ultimately connected. And they're going to square over to Uranus. So it's shaking up. It's shaken, like reality's shaking up in a way. But there's beauty to this week as well. And that moon's going to come into Scorpio on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's going to make all the squares to the Aquarius energy, as well as oppositions to the Taurus, to Uranus and Mars. So there's a lot going on this week. And I think that the main story, is learning our value. Learning what we intimately want to be connected to, the relationships that we want to be intimately connected to, and not so much just holding on to old stories or old belief systems, especially if we're not connected. And this Venus in Aquarius is an interesting place for Venus, to say the least, but it's not a bad place. It just wants to level up. So I think when it comes to relationships, especially meeting with Charlico, we want to go to the next level. We want to find that stimulation and that connection and that electricity when it comes to our values and our relationships with people. And it's going to get that shock wave with Uranus, which there is, in a sense, a mutual reception going on with Venus in Aquarius to Uranus in Taurus. Uranus being the modern ruler of Aquarius, and of course Venus being the ruler of Taurus. So there is sort of this, like, I want to go into the new, unique, amazing love story. And I think that that's something that's beautiful. And I think that we can find a lot of beauty in going in the new direction. And I would say that's the theme of this week, is like, you got to connect to the frequency that you feel most connected to. And drop the old story if you're not feeling connected. And we almost have to really come back to ourselves. We have so much Aquarius in the chart right now. And the sun also, it's done with the square to Mars. It's really not making many aspects here. This week, it's kind of just going through this Aquarian energy. So it's almost like we got to really figure out how we want to create and integrate into this new area, this new world. It just feels different this week. It's like, okay, are we going to go into something exciting and electric and connect? And are we channeling and seeing all the signs the universe is throwing at us? Or are we still just paying attention to all of the weird old aspects in life that we don't even feel connected to? Do they even bring us happiness? Do they bring us joy? And I think that we got to find that happiness and that love, right? That is the opposite sign of Aquarius, is Leo. And it's like, really, the more you can connect to that heart space, that love energy in new, different, and exciting ways, that's where the beauty's at this week. We're definitely going to see reality start to shake up. Saturn and Uranus is going to square this week. And Saturn being, our reality and the rules and the authority, and even being, the government in that aspect, like, it's going to be shaken up. And Uranus in Taurus is wild, it's eccentric, it's crazy, and we don't know which way it's going to go when it comes to our, like, fixed reality and our fixed earth here. And I would say that it's one of those weeks where it's more of the unexpected can come out than ever and shatter reality and shatter things and have things thrown in different directions. And I'll be honest, it's like you could see crazy stuff happen with the earth, with maybe weather. You might see crazy storms, earthquakes, volcanoes. It's that time where we can start to see the really physical structures of this reality start to make crazy shifts. And it might not even be through politics or all the other stuff that everybody's so focused on right now. It might just be in your world and in your reality. And that's where you got to come back to your own reality and make sure that you're ultimately connecting to it. And does it make sense with this North Node in Gemini? That is going to start, that's the one thing the sun's going to do this week, is it's going to make really good aspects to that North Node in Gemini. It's going to trine it. It's all about being able to create and innovate new ways forward when it comes to our own personal space and our own personal stimulation. Instead of just always looking out into the world to find that right now, it's much better to keep pushing forward with your environment. And that's like where we're being led. It's one of those weeks where you could see wild stuff take place through the TV, through the media. Still have that Neptune at 19 degrees of Pisces. And coming off the Sun-Mars square this week, it's like energy levels can drop a little bit. There's not that sort of, force and drive to go after our desires and to connect to that sort of like physical sensuality with this Mars in Taurus. It's just slowing it down a little bit again. But at the same time, when it comes to our relationships, with Mars being in Taurus, with Venus in Aquarius, the dispositor of that Mars now, it's the new ways forward, the new ways to innovate and create, and to really tune into the frequency of people in our lives that are on it, that want to make the environment that you're in great with you, and to not be some sort of lead weight. And I think that that's where we're going to get a good look at our realities this week with Saturn squaring Uranus. Is like, it's going to bring people up big time. And it's like, are these people on the frequency with you that are helping you go into the new stories of your own life? Or are people just sort of this lead Saturn weight that are taking you into just this story that you don't want to be into, that you don't ultimately value for yourself? And I think that that's part of this Aquarius energy, is like, are you going to step into your individuality and kind of find that inner rebel to live a life that you want to live? Or are you just going to keep being told what to do? And again, I'm not here to tell you to break rules, but you got to listen to the own signs in your own life, because they're trying to take you into better places. And that's where we're going this week, is we can go into better places, new, amazing, beautiful places that the sun and Jupiter is trying to show us, but they're new, different, weird ways that haven't been thought of before, or they're not just going to be projected or told to you. And you got to come back to yourself and sort of channel that. And Aquarius can help with that. Aquarius can help you and get you channeling that energy from a different source, from a foreign place. But be it alien, be it whatever, it doesn't necessarily come just from physical Earth. It comes from somewhere else. And that's where you're going to get the signs this week, to go into the new stories, the new directions that ultimately connect you with the vibration and the frequency of the reality and the environment that you want to be on. And I think that this moon, when it comes into Scorpio, it's going to have us take a major emotional detachment from what we don't want to be intimate with anymore, from the physical parts of reality that we don't want to connect to anymore. We're going to have to make a big defining shift. Are we going to rise up and like make the good connections and go with the tribe? And I think that's another thing about this Aquarius energy, is like, we got to find the tribes, those communities, those groups that want to go and innovate and bring something better out of it, and ultimately bring it to the collective and make it more, just make it better. Aquarius wants to fix it. It really does. And we got to start, but that starts with us as individuals. And then it migrates out to the collective. The moon's going to go through a lot here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And it's in detriment. It's actually in fall position in Scorpio. So it's not like a powerful moon. And we could be feeling, like we got to go deep within ourselves to figure out what we need to let go of, to figure out where the ultimate connection is, so that we can merge with the right people. And we're not merging with people that are bringing us down, dragging us into the depths of the underworld, but bringing us into a place where we can ultimately find that passion to rise up and to go into the world that we want to create. And I think that this week is ultimately bringing you beauty. It's ultimately trying to show you the best way forward, the new way forward. And you're going to find these signs, and it's going to come through people. It's going to come through just signs. It could be a street sign. It could be a license plate. It could be anything. Like, you're going to start to see that the universe is talking to you very loudly. And it's trying to help you define this physical world in the best way forward for yourself, in your environment, with the people you connect with. But there's going to be distractions. There's going to be a lot going on outside in the world. And it's almost like a test. It's like, can you disconnect from the projections? Can you disconnect from what isn't true to you? And connect to your truth, and connect to what stimulates you and wants to show you something better. And that's where we're at this week. And I do wish you all the best. I do hope that it's a great week, and I do hope that you find the connections in life and that connection to yourself and to the universe that takes you in the direction ultimately that you want to go into, and not being forced to feel like you have to go in some direction that everybody else is telling you have to go into, because it's not that right now. And that's what that South Node in Sag with this Neptune in Pisces is trying to show you, is that you have to do what the world's doing. You have to do this, you have to do that. You got to make that call for yourself. And it's different for everybody. So I'm not here to tell you which way is right or which way is wrong, but you got to trust your own self and your own channel and what you're feeling, because that's going to ultimately show you what you want to merge with. It's not just about blindly giving your energy and your attention to things outside of you. You got to come back to you. You got to come back to your individuality and use that to move forward for your journey, and put that at like the top of the priority list here, especially with this Mercury retrograde that we're going through in Aquarius. We got to, kind of internally understand these new ways forward, and come back to what's objective, and you look for win-win opportunities, but we got to make sure that we're not just giving all of our win to someone else so that they can have the opportunity. We got to find the balance. We got to find a sense of justice too, with this moon that's going to be in Libra to start the week, and ultimately connect to the energy that does give the win-win. And we could definitely internalize our thoughts, and we want to be able to define them and express them, because I think that people are the most important factor right now, and it's all about the people that you're connecting with. And you don't have to just connect with every energy in the world. And that's what this Scorpio moon towards the end of the week is going to teach us, is that you got to connect more with your ultimate passion and what connects you deeper to something bigger, to something more that's not just on the surface when it comes to many aspects, especially relationships. I think relationships are highlighted big time, and money, financial institutions. So we're going to see what happens. Try to listen to what you're receiving right now, because it could be coming through stronger than you know. But if you're just too analytical about it right now, that Mercury retrograde might block you from it. So you want to be open and receptive and not overthink things, but trust your feeling, trust your sensuality of what feels ultimately connected to your environment and to this earth and to the world that you want to see and the reality that you want to see. And go that way. And make sure that you're merging with energy that sees you for you. And I think that Charlico in Aquarius is beautiful, because it's showing us that we don't have to judge everybody. We don't have to judge every outcome. We don't have to judge every circumstance. We just have to understand our own path and our own individuality, and understand that others are on their own individual path as well. And just being able to have the grace within you to let other people live their journey without attacking them or putting them down already puts you on another tier in this world right now, because I think it's pretty obvious to see that that is something we could all use a little bit more of, is less judgment towards one another. And I'm definitely not saying that we need to just let people walk all over us, but we definitely want to embrace our individuality and not judge people for being in their individuality as well. I love you all very much. I hope you have a great week. I hope to see you. Subscribe if you haven't, and if not, I'll catch you here next time. I love you very much. Peace.